gunshots. That's reassuring. Want to say hey to all our TIPA TV people. It's been a while. We just kind of had to take care of some stuff and get some stuff addressed and taken care of, and kind of took away from our time for going out and doing the spooky dooky stuff we was doing. We do want to get back out and do that again eventually, but for right now it's just not in the cards, at least not anytime soon. But that could always change in a matter of a day or an hour or a minute. So in the meantime, I'm just going to be cruising around, learning about riding bikes, because even though this isn't my first bike, it's actually the first bike I've felt comfortable enough with to do a little bit more than previously, let's just say. I'm not super experienced with riding. There's a lot I'm still going to have to learn. But so far I think I'm doing alright. We went on a couple decent rides just to kind of get a feel for it. It's a 93 Yamaha, I think it's pronounced Viargo 535. So I've heard a lot of people say that it's actually a really good bike to learn on, you know, to get used to riding, to get out on the road, learn the whatnots and what to-dos and all that good stuff. And so far I have to say it's definitely a bike that I feel super comfortable on while I'm riding around. It's low enough to the ground to where it's easy for me to put my feet down if I feel like, if I'm going so slow I need to, anyway. Motor's in really good shape. The gentleman I actually bought it from, you can tell he took really good care of it. In fact, he was a little bit sad to see it go, but hopefully if he comes across any of these videos, he'll see it went to a good home and it's being well taken care of. But I haven't really had very many issues with it. Probably the biggest thing that I came across was we were heading home from one of our rides, and all of a sudden my analog speedometer started bouncing a lot, and then it dropped to 0 and quit working. So I decided I better get it home since I couldn't tell how fast I was going, and I didn't have this yet. And we went a little ways and we ended up stopping, and the beautiful wife walked around to the front of it, yelled back to me and said, "Hey, you're missing part of your bike." I said, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Look." So I walk around the front, look down, there's a cable running from the front wheel, just dragging underneath the bike. And I quickly realized that was the speedometer cable. And it had unscrewed from the actual speedometer. So we were able to get it screwed back in and be able to ride home the rest of the way safely. But other than that, I haven't had any problems. I did do an oil change on it pretty quick after I picked it up. That was cool. That car waved to me. So yeah, I got an oil change done on it, and it was actually really simple. And if anybody ever needs to see how to do that on one of these, I'd be happy to show you again next time. We do have a couple additional things on order for this thing. In fact, I actually have one in my backpack. I just haven't installed yet. It's a battery reader and USB adapters. And we also ordered some shark home devices. So when me and the beautiful wife were going on rides together, and she's sitting behind me, we can still talk, and I'm not trying to scream over the sound of the wind or the sound of the engine. But that's also why we ordered the chin guards, is because we hear that's supposed to help a lot when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I guess we'll find out. In fact, we're kind of finding out now with my homemade one, because if you guys are hearing me right now, then it obviously works. If you're not hearing me right now, then I don't know. But I figured I'd take you guys out on a cruise with me, rambling away, because that's what I'm good at. And we're going back to actually one of the spots where one of our popular videos from back in the day took place. And if you're wondering what that video is, it's called Stalking the Stalker. Yeah, we did go back out there afterwards because we had people ask us to, and it was the middle of winter, so the whole thing was frozen over, so it's kind of hard to show you all of it, or at least what it looks like. But even though it's cold right now, I think I'll be able to give you a good view of the area, horses, and just kind of show you where we were parked at, give you a perspective of the angle of how far away we were seeing all those cars and stuff. But I'm hoping the GoPro's still recording. If not, then I'm talking to myself because I'm talking anyway. Can't really tell while I'm riding, but I did hit the record button at one point. Big turn. Okay, tight turn, not big turn. Get it straight. And we're actually using, or I'm actually using the old GoPro that we used from before. I love the sound of this bike. It's not the fastest bike in the world, but I really don't need to be. I more wanted it just so I could cruise than anything else. And so it's a really good cruiser bike. Funny story is that the first day when we went out to look at it, talking to the guy and kind of riding it around a little bit just to test drive, apparently I came around the corner and the beautiful wife and the guy who was selling the bike both saw me come around the corner, and I guess they both were like, that's his bike. Which is funny because I was just like, I don't know, I was just test driving it. But ended up obviously buying it, and I asked the guy, is it alright if I drive it home? He's like, yeah, if you're comfortable to it, go ahead. It's like, alright, cool. So I drove it home, and it was friggin' cold, really, really cold. By the time I got home, I was frozen to the bone, and it took me a couple hours just to warm back up again. Look at that view. Isn't that pretty? Focus, Josh. I mean, it was below freezing, and I was on the freeway for the first time on a motorcycle, and I just barely started riding this motorcycle, so it was kind of a telltale moment that me and the bike connected right out of the gate. Big trucks, lots of wind. Hold on. Nah, that wasn't too bad. So yeah, me and the bike, we kind of had a moment, I guess you could say. But here it is. This is where the world famous Stalking the Stalkers took place. A lot of people like to come here and go ice fishing in the winter, which is not something I've ever done, but it kind of looks cool, and there's people all over the place doing it. Yeah, and so there is people here all year round, but that night was not an ice fishing night. In fact, yeah, if you want to see that video and understand why it was just so weird, just I'll put the link either up there or down in the description, just so you could refer back to it. Look at that view. Okay, so I'm going to show you where we were parked at. We were parked right here in number 6. I'm going to back the bike in. After I put it back in neutral. But I mean, like I said, I'm not brand new to riding bikes, but I'm new, and I'm fully aware there's a lot of stuff that I still need to learn, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. One of the weird things about this bike too is that the start button sticks sometimes when I go to start it. So if I don't pay attention, the starter keeps spinning even though the engine's running, and that's not really very helpful. But yeah, that's the view out there. You could kind of see what was going on and how far away cars were. And we had a truck go right past in front of us. I'll go ahead and kill this for a minute. Shut the key off. And yeah, we were just looking out that way, and I think at one point we heard something behind us, and so I got out and walked around, and accidentally, we'll say it was accidentally, startled Marianne, because she wasn't expecting me to pop out from the other side. And yeah, anyway, that was a very interesting night. I think we even went back and did a follow-up one on that too. So anyway, this is the spot where we did that. I'm going to actually go over there so you can get a better view of the lake and everything. Make sure that I'm still in neutral. Again, I'm learning. The bike's like, what are you shutting me off for if you're just starting me back up again? Ooh, big bump, big bump. Bump, bump. Yep, that was a big bump. Water, water. I'm just gonna park the beautiful thing right about here. Put you back in neutral. It was in neutral and I just knocked it out because I'm that smart. Kill again, shut the key off again. So yeah, like I said, I just started using this because I like digital, plus with it going out on me last time, that wasn't very helpful either. So looks like the GoPro is still working. Yeah, it says been recording for 20 minutes, so I'm doing all right there. And Yep, back or there. Alright. But again, this is really a very nice bike. Just gonna give you an idea. I'm gonna nickname it Joy. So whenever I tell people I'm going for a joyride, this is what I mean. So it's a beautiful bike, very well taken care of. There are a couple weird things that I still have to figure out. Weird wire that's wrapped around here for some reason, not too sure. These pegs are supposed to be for me putting my feet up, so when my legs would get sore or tired or whatever. But they're not really that comfortable, so I really don't know if I'm using them wrong. If you guys know, let me know. The tank has a boo-boo on it, but it's not leaking or anything. It just has a boo-boo. Maybe I'll put a little band-aid on it. And then he said this bell is for good luck. Apparently there's a couple different theories behind those bells. You know, protection, luck, safety, fortune, I don't know. So, all that I still have to learn about. But in due time. But again, it's a really fun, really beautiful bike. Really happy with it. He gave me this backrest and the bracket, all the hardware for it, so I put that on after I got it home. Had to kind of modify it a little bit because it wasn't fitting. Gunshots. That's reassuring. As long as they're not shooting this way. But here's our beautiful lake. I like to go riding up there a lot. It's just a peaceful spot. Get away from everybody. The view is incredible. And it's usually pretty quiet. Don't even really hear those gunshots very often, but I heard them today. Weird. But again, I like to come here, relax for a bit, rest, kind of do my thing, and then go from there. Listen to the birdies go chirp, chirp, chirp. I don't know if you guys could hear it, probably not, but who is shooting? Crazy. Alright, well, I'm going to take my helmet off for a minute, and before I continue on up the road, I will kick you back on and we'll get back going. So, love you guys, thanks for hopping on, and I'll see you in just a sec. Bye.